Welcome to GODSpeed, where truth meets life in under 10 minutes. I'm AK, and this is hope for your journey. If you've ever had something as small as a cold or as big as surgery, you know how quickly life can become difficult for you to handle. And if you've ever dealt with emergency rooms, insurance, or medical specialties, you know sometimes getting help is way harder than getting hurt. In today's story, we're dropping in on Jesus teaching to a large room filled with believers, students, the curious, and his critics. The setting then quickly turns from a classroom into a hospital's waiting room. We meet a desperate patient and two friends, desperately looking for help and healing. This reading comes from the book of Luke, chapter 5, verses 17 through 26. One day, Jesus was teaching, and Pharisees and teachers of the law were sitting there. They had come from every village of Galilee and from Judea and Jerusalem. And the power of the Lord was with Jesus to heal the sick. Some men came carrying a paralyzed man on a mat and tried to take him into the house to lay him before Jesus. When they could not find a way to do this because of the crowd, they went up on the roof and lowered him on his mat through the tiles into the middle of the crowd, right in front of Jesus. When Jesus saw their faith, he said, "Friend, your sins are forgiven." The Pharisees and the teachers of the law began thinking to themselves, "Who is this fellow who speaks blasphemy? Who can forgive sins but God alone?" Jesus knew what they were thinking and asked, "Why are you thinking these things in your hearts? Which is easier to say, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Get up and walk'? But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." So he said to the paralyzed man, "I tell you, get up, take your mat, and go home." Immediately, he stood up in front of them, took what he had been lying on, and went home praising God. Everyone was amazed and gave praise to God. They were filled with awe and said, "We have seen remarkable things today." The doctor's orders and key takeaways from the day are faith, the process of healing, and the power of a testimony. Faith is first because nothing happens without it. Remember, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. How far would you go to get well? How many supplements would you take? Doctors would you visit? Diets would you try? Therapists would you meet? Exercises you'd attempt? For many of us, that answer will be as many as it takes. And I'm inspired by the fact that this story reminds us good things don't always come easy. There will be inconveniences, obstacles, waiting, and not to mention the beginning, the times where you are broken and helpless to save yourself. But thankfully, Jesus isn't asking for a copay or meeting your insurance network. It says, when he saw their faith. It's by faith. He's moved by faith to heal. Equally important is faith in your community. The man doesn't make it there without faithful companions. Be sure you have some people around you and in your life that believe, that will tear the roof off, that you would see the goodness of God in your life, that will carry you in moments when your own power has run out. Next, healing is a process, but don't skip or overlook what's in it. A few years ago, I had the great fortune to rupture my Achilles tendon and become immobile. I went from thinking I was invincible to being completely incapable, tasks I could do easily just minutes before. were now impossible. Walking was out of the question, and my independence turned to reliance on friends, neighbors, and family. While it was devastating, disappointing, and painful when it occurred, I can now say great fortune because of the collateral beauty. It taught me my strength has a limit and that the limit is small, but there was a greater power offered to me. And in my vulnerable state, certain people would proactively love me when I had nothing to offer them in return. Much like the man, though I was in need of healing, I required the help and faith of others to move, to get to doctor's appointments, to participate in physical therapy, and to speak life to lift my disappointed spirit. The healing came in time, but it was the love and support throughout the process that made me well. And for others, if not a physical ailment, think to the moment your heart has been broken, when you were sent to your knees by loss or crumbled under the weight of your own mistakes, crippled by grief. I'll tell you again, healing is a process, and the doctor wants to see you, tend to you, forgive you, and heal you. And finally, when you get well, share and encourage others. What the paralyzed man was brought in laying on, he walked out carrying. Imagine that. What was a symbol of his limitation is now folded under his arm as an example of his healing. The same object in new circumstances, and people in the room are amazed. Now that's a testimony. Testimony is a word you can hear in a courtroom, business meeting, and in a church. It simply serves as evidence or proof something occurred. It can be written, spoken, or seen. Sharing a testimony of your healing encourages others. Hearing about healing encourages you. So God in the Bible is represented by many names, one being Jehovah Rapha or Yahweh Rapha. And Rapha, that Hebrew word, presents God as the great physician because it means to heal, to restore, or to make whole. Meaning the one who made you desires to heal you, to restore you and put you back to a place of fullness. So just like on Amazon, Yelp, or Netflix, when something is amazing, you leave a recommendation, you call a friend about it, or you pass along the name. Well, as I wish you Godspeed on your journey, I want to say truthfully and boldly, He has healed me and continues to look after me, to not just refurbish me, but make me better. And He wants to care for you and meet you on whatever path your journey takes. God, please surround me with people that reinforce my faith and trust in you. I ask that you meet me in the places I am broken.
I will always love you how I do. Let go of a prayer for you, just as we were.